The Valoran High Council had studied the cosmos for 12,000 years. They had mapped every star within 1,000 light years of their home world. They had cataloged over 300 intelligent species across the galaxy. They believed they understood everything about how civilizations rose and fell. They believed they knew the limits of what was possible. Then the strange ship appeared in orbit above their capital world, and everything changed. Admiral Ketharan stood on the observation deck of the Grand Station, his 4 eyes fixed on the vessel floating silently in the darkness. The ship was small by galactic standards, barely 300 meters long. Its hull was covered in strange markings and symbols that their translation systems could not understand. The design was crude compared to Valoran vessels. The metal was thick and heavy. The propulsion system burned chemical fuel mixed with something their sensors could not identify. By every measurement the Valorans knew, this ship should not exist. It had traveled from a star system that was supposed to be empty. The planet it came from was a death world, a place of crushing gravity, violent weather, and toxic atmosphere. No intelligent life should have evolved there. No civilization should have survived long enough to reach the stars. Yet here it was. Have they responded to our communications? Ketharan asked his second in command. They have, Admiral. They call themselves humans. They come from a planet called Earth. Ketharan felt his scales tighten with unease. Earth. He had read the ancient survey reports about that world. The Valoran expansion fleet had passed through that system 800 years ago. They had marked the third planet as unsuitable for colonization. The gravity was too strong. The star was too bright. The atmosphere was filled with a corrosive gas called oxygen. The planet itself was covered in liquid water that fell from the sky and flooded the surface. The survey team had detected primitive life forms on the surface. Simple creatures that crawled through the mud and swam in the poisonous oceans. The report had estimated that it would take millions of years for anything intelligent to evolve there, if it ever did at all. 800 years. That was nothing in evolutionary terms. That was barely a moment in cosmic time. Yet somehow these humans had gone from primitive creatures to space travelers in less than a millennium. Impossible, Ketharan whispered. Admiral, they are requesting permission to send a representative to meet with us. Ketharan hesitated. The Valoran Council had strict protocols for first contact situations. There were procedures to follow, safety measures to implement, political considerations to address. But something about this situation felt different. Something about these humans demanded immediate attention. Grant their request, he said. I will meet with their representative personally. The human shuttle that docked with the Grand Station was even stranger than the main ship. It was angular and sharp, built for function rather than beauty. The metal groaned as it connected with the docking port. The humans had not calibrated their systems to match Valoran standards. They had simply forced their technology to work through brute strength. The airlock opened and a single human stepped through. Ketharan's first impression was one of shock. The creature was massive by Valoran standards, standing nearly 2 meters tall. Its body was thick and muscular, built to survive the crushing gravity of its home world. Its skin was a strange pinkish color, covered in tiny hairs that seemed to serve no purpose. It had only 2 eyes, both of them facing forward like a predator. But it was the creature's expression that disturbed Ketharan the most. The human was smiling. Its lips were pulled back to reveal rows of flat teeth, and its eyes were bright with what appeared to be genuine warmth. In most species, such a display would be a threat. But somehow Ketharan understood that this was meant as a greeting. Hello, the human said. Its voice was deep and resonant, and the translator device on its chest converted the sounds into Valoran speech. My name is Sarah-chan. I am the captain of the vessel Hope. Thank you for agreeing to meet with me. Ketharan struggled to compose himself. He had met hundreds of alien species in his long career. He had negotiated with beings of pure energy and creatures that existed in multiple dimensions at once. But something about this human unsettled him in a way he could not explain. "I am Admiral Catharan of the Valoran High Fleet," he said. "We have many questions for you, Captain Chun." The human nodded. "I'm sure you do. We have questions for you as well. We've been searching for other intelligent life for a very long time." "How long?" Catharan asked. "How long has your species possessed space travel?" Sarah Chun's smile faded slightly. There was something in her eyes that Catharan could not read. It might have been sadness. It might have been pride. "We launched our first satellite into orbit 67 years ago," she said. "We put the first human on our moon 58 years ago. We developed faster than light travel 12 years ago." Catharan felt his heart stop. 67 years. These creatures had gone from their first steps into space to interstellar travel in less than a single Valoran lifetime. The Valorans had taken 3,000 years to achieve the same progress. Most species took even longer. Some never managed it at all. "That is not possible," Catharan said. "The physics alone would require centuries of research. The engineering challenges would take generations to solve." Sarah Chun laughed softly. It was a strange sound, full of warmth and something that might have been bitterness. "We had motivation," she said. "We had no choice. Our planet was dying. Our climate was changing. Our resources were running out. We had to reach the stars or we would go extinct. So we found a way." Catharan studied the human carefully. He saw the truth in her eyes. These creatures had not advanced through careful planning and patient research. They had advanced through desperation. They had clawed their way into space because the alternative was death. "Your planet?" Catharan said slowly. "Our records indicate it is a death world. The conditions there should be lethal to complex life." "They nearly were," Sarah Chun agreed. "Earth is not a kind world. Our ancestors survived ice ages and volcanic winters and mass extinctions. They fought predators that were bigger and stronger and faster than they were. They crossed deserts and oceans and mountains that should have killed them. They survived plagues and famines and wars that destroyed entire civilizations. We are the descendants of everyone who refused to die." Catharan felt a chill run through his scales. He thought about the Valoran homeworld with its gentle climate and abundant resources. He thought about how easy their evolution had been, how smooth their path to civilization. He thought about how they had always believed that intelligence flourished in comfort and peace. But these humans had proven something different. Intelligence could also flourish in fire and blood. Civilization could be born from struggle and pain. "What do you want from us?" Catharan asked. Sarah Chun's smile returned, and this time Catharan saw something new in it. He saw hope. "We want to learn," she said. "We want to trade. We want to make friends. We have spent our entire existence fighting just to survive. We are tired of fighting. We want to build something better." Over the following months, Catharan learned more about the humans than he had ever expected. He learned that they did not sleep in the way that most species did. They remained unconscious for hours at a time, their minds creating strange hallucinations that they called dreams. He learned that they could survive injuries that would kill any other species. They could lose limbs and continue fighting. They could break bones and heal themselves without medical intervention. He learned that they formed emotional bonds with almost anything. They kept small animals as companions and mourned them when they died. They named their ships and their vehicles, and sometimes their weapons. They would sacrifice themselves for complete strangers simply because they believed it was right. He learned that they were terrifying and wonderful in equal measure. The Valoran Council debated for weeks about what to do with these new arrivals. Some argued that the humans were too dangerous to be allowed into galactic society. Their rapid advancement and aggressive biology made them a threat to every other species. Others argued that the humans should be welcomed as valuable allies. Their creativity and determination could benefit everyone. In the end, it was Catharan who settled the debate. "I have spoken with their captain many times," he told the council. "I have studied their history and their culture. Yes, they are dangerous. Yes, they are aggressive. But they are not evil. They have fought and killed because they had to, not because they wanted to. Now they are looking for a new path. They are looking for a better way. I believe we should give them the chance to find it." The council voted to establish formal relations with humanity. It was a decision that would change the galaxy forever. The news spread quickly through Valoran space and beyond. A new species had emerged from a death world. A species that had achieved in decades what other civilizations needed millennia to accomplish. A species that had turned their planet's hostile environment into a crucible that forged them into something extraordinary. Other species reacted in different ways. Some were curious. Some were afraid. Some were dismissive. But all of them were forced to reconsider what they believed was possible. The Kolthani, who had long believed that peaceful evolution was the only path to intelligence, had to admit that war and struggle could produce the same results. The Marathi, who believed that only telepathic species could build true civilizations, had to accept that physical communication could work just as well. The Dreekin, who believed that no species could survive high-gravity worlds, had to confront the evidence of humans walking on their stations without assistance. One by one, the old certainties fell away. Sarah Chun stayed in Valoran space for 2 years, serving as humanity's first ambassador to the galactic community. She negotiated trade agreements and scientific exchanges. She answered endless questions about human biology and culture and history. She made friends and allies among species that had never imagined creatures like her could exist. When she finally returned to Earth, she carried with her the knowledge and technology of a dozen civilizations. She also carried something more important. She carried proof that humanity was not alone in the universe. She carried hope for a future that stretched beyond the stars. Behind her, the galaxy continued to change. New theories emerged to explain human advancement. New philosophies developed to incorporate human perspectives. New alliances formed that would have been unthinkable before. And in the observation deck of the Grand Station, Admiral Catharan continued to watch the stars and think about everything he had learned. He thought about how one small ship from a death world had shattered 12,000 years of certainty. He thought about how the universe was bigger and stranger and more wonderful than he had ever imagined. He thought about how the arrival of humanity had not just changed what the aliens believed about the cosmos. It had changed what they believed about themselves. It had shown them that the galaxy was not a finished place with fixed rules and predetermined outcomes. It was a living thing, constantly growing and changing and surprising everyone who thought they understood it. One ship in orbit had changed everything. And Catharan knew that this was only the beginning.